Good afternoon, Mr. Oldacre.
Oh, yes, come in, come in.
Sorry, Mr. Holmes, I'm nearly mad. My name is John McFarlane and I need your help.
Would you kindly take a seat, Mr. McFarlane?
Mr. Holmes, I might just be the most unlucky man throughout all of London. You need to know the whole truth, then I can go to jail happy knowing you're out there working for me.
So what exactly are you going to jail for?
For the murder of Mr. Jonas Oldacre of Norwood. Have you not read the news?
How come you're not arrested with all this evidence stacked up against you?
I'm sure that they're only waiting for the warrant to arrest me.
Mr. Holmes, I think you have who I am looking for. Mr. John McFarlane. I arrest you for the murder of Mr. Jonas Oldacre.
One moment, Lestrade. Could you give him 30 minutes? I'm sure that's not too much for you.
First, I must explain that I knew nothing of Mr. Oldacre. His name was familiar to me because many years ago my parents were acquainted to him, but they drifted apart. Yesterday, to my surprise, he walked into my office at 3 p.m. He had several sheets of paper scribbled in writing.
Alright, so this is my will. Mr. McFarlane, I would like to have you write it in a proper legal shape. I will sit here as you do so.
To my surprise, he had left all his property to me. He told me that he was a successful builder with hardly any living relative. The will was finished, signed, and witnessed by my clerk. He begged for me to come to his house.
Come to my house at Norwood by 9 p.m. We will discuss some matters. And remember this. Don't tell your parents about anything until everything is settled. We'll keep a surprise for them.
Of course, I had to accept his invitation. I arrived at his house and his housekeeper, the same woman who accused me, invites me in. Mr. Oldacre led me to his bedroom, which stood a heavy safe. We finished around 11 and 12.
Make sure not to disturb the housekeeper. She usually sleeps this time.
I think I left my umbrella around here.
You better get going now, boy.
Oh.
It's getting late. I'll see you next time.
I left him there. The safe was open and the papers on the desk. I could not get back to Blackheath with my mother, so I stayed at the local inn. I knew nothing of this horrible affair until this morning.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Holmes?
This case isn't clear to me. I'll have to go to Blackheath.
You mean to Norwood?
Oh yes, that's what I meant.
Mr. McFarlane, follow us. The police are waiting for you outside.
Mr. Holmes, so should we go to Norwood?
First, we'll have to go to Blackheath.
So you knew him at the time?
Yes, I know him well. He was a former fiancé of mine. Thank God I trusted my senses, turned away from him, and married a better man. At first, I thought he was a kind man until I saw him let a cat loose in a bird sanctuary. I was so horrified at his brutal cruelty. I had nothing more to do with him.
Well, at least he has forgiven you by giving your son all his property.
Neither I nor my son want anything from Jonas Oldacre. There is a God in heaven, Mr. Holmes. He is the same God that will punish the wicked man and show that my son's hands are guiltless of his blood.
Hand me that poster.
These bloodstains look undoubtedly fresh. This umbrella undoubtedly belongs to Mr. McFarlane. I cannot find anything of value, and these papers aren't complete. But why would Mr. McFarlane destroy something that he would inherit? Steal something that he would inherit? Can you please bring me the housekeeper?
Yeah.
Mrs. Lexington, could you tell us the account of your case?
Mr. Holmes, I let Mr. McFarlane in at 9:30, and I wish my hand had withered before I had done so. I was then awakened by the alarm of fire and the news of my master being brutally murdered.
Did he have any enemies?
Every man has his enemies, but Mr. Oldacre was very private and only spoke to people for business.
What do you know about these papers?
I know nothing of the papers and Mr. Oldacre's private affairs.
Well, Dr. Watson, that case was of no use. That woman's holding something back and I know it. If we don't find an alternate theory, Mr. McFarlane is lost, and the theory further strengthens it. This case is almost flawless.
Mr. Holmes, I was just looking through this paper. It looked like Mr. Oldacre has transferred a large amount of money to Mr. Cornelius. And why would a retired builder with barely any relationship have anything to do with Mr. Cornelius? So I will go speak with the bank to clear this up.
Looks like Lestray's victory.
Important evidence can be two-edged sword. Mr. Holmes, let's take breakfast and go investigate together.
Take a look at this, Mr. Holmes. That is a bloody fingerprint. Compare it with Mr. McFarlane's right here.
This is damning evidence, Lestrade, but I know that this wasn't here yesterday. And I know a witness that you haven't talked to before.
What do you mean? Mr. Holmes? Holmes, what are you doing?
Starting a fire.
Mr. Holmes?
I'm starting a fire. Okay, everyone leave. Get out of the room.
Mr. Oldacre, why would you fake your own death?
It's just a prank. You can't just arrest me for just a prank.
I may not be able to arrest you for a prank, but I'm pretty sure that I can arrest you for murder. This must be a revenge plot against his former fiancée. What would hurt Mrs. McFarlane more than seeing her son convicted of murder? A man went missing in Norwood. He worked as a cook for Mr. Oldacre. Mr. Oldacre must have killed him and used his body.
You know what to do.